I've never really been into rhythm games, up until I've tried the Persona Dancing spin-off games, and I've started to begun to see why many people enjoy rhythm games.
Mine in a way. I don't know what to mine on my.
Nowadays we have stuff like Guitar Hero, Miku, and as well as Osu. But I feel like nobody really remembers one of the OG rhythm games, and I think it's time he deserves a comeback.
You gotta do what? I gotta believe!
PaRappa was a game released on the PlayStation 1 December 6th of 1996 in Japan, and was later released in America November 17th, 1997, and was later re-released on the PlayStation Portable in 2006 and on the PS4 in 2017. The first game, as well as the series, focuses on PaRappa the Rapper, who wants to impress this girl named Sunny Funny. To do so, PaRappa must perform multiple tasks while being accompanied by the masters who appear throughout the game. Now, I won't go into too much detail about PaRappa 1, as the game itself hasn't aged very well, especially with the PSP and the PS4 versions of the game, due to its slight delay in timing. After receiving fairly well reception, there was a spin-off for PaRappa called Jammer Lammy, but I'll talk about that for another day. But today, I want to focus on a certain game in the series. One that I think everyone should at least give it a try, and that is the sequel of PaRappa 1, well, PaRappa 2.
There's a much more lengthy story to the game, as it starts off with PaRappa having a bad dream, and that he's won a lifetime supply of noodles, which he gets sick of immediately. But it is then later revealed that he's invited to Sunny's house for noodles, which she then proceeds to call PaRappa a baby.
PaRappa, I didn't know you were such a baby. Such a baby.
After being called weak by Sunny,
PaRappa then, along with his friend PJ the bear, go to Burger Beard, this burger joint in PaRappa Town. But then come to find out that all the burgers have turned into noodles. Because of this, the deceased burger joint owner comes back to life just to teach PaRappa how to cook a burger.
That's right! I'm in the house! Here it comes! Extra, read all about it!
Toasted Buns is not only a good amazing star song to get you pumped up, but it helps the player get a feel of how the game is going to feel like by giving you not complicated patterns to follow on the bar above. Once you finish the task at hand, and it's time for you to move on to the next stage.
Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about! Now go serve those burgers right now!
We then cut to PaRappa's dad as well as Sunny's dad, who are trying to figure out the mystery behind the so-called Noodle Syndicate, but they end up shrinking themselves. PaRappa and PJ then arrive on the scene to watch a adult TV show ran by Master Chop Chop Onion from the first game.
It is too bad, because this is strictly for adults.
Once the TV show is over with, PaRappa and PJ have a fight over what they want to watch on TV, but then they accidentally shrink themselves. And Monsan, according to a wiki, says she's a mouse, shrinks Lammy, Katie, and other random people. This guy.
What's up?
Everybody wanted to grow big again, but unable to get Monsan's attention. They're confronted by Guru, who says that he would make them big.
Do you really understand the meaning of big?
This is where I'd like to make a quick note that this is where the game kinda changes a bit. See, through the first two stages, you have been told to do exactly as the instructor says if you want to pass. But in the next few stages, the instructors hint at, yeah, you can do what they want, but the game wants you to add your own style to it.
Yeah. You wanna be big. You wanna grow big.
Also, Big is probably my favorite stage within the game. Not only is the song so laid back and chill, I really love the visuals that happen.
Everybody do this and go with a ride.
Once everyone is back to their normal size, PJ and PaRappa go to training camp so they can take on their organization, and the training is led by Sister Musasia. Now, if you played the first game, she might look familiar. Well, Musasia is the sister of the driving instructor Mussolini from the first game. They even share the same phrase.
When I say boom, 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 you say bam, bam, bam. No pause in between you. Come on, let's jam.
By using the power of rap and a funky beat from this song, your training is complete. And once your training is complete, Sonny's dad reports that there's a bunch of people being held hostage at a hair salon. Turns out everyone is getting afros, which is caused by the hairdresser Octopus, which he challenges to a cutting hair competition to a funky fresh song. And probably my second or third favorite song in the game. I mean, I still can't decide because there's too many good songs in this game. Once you beat the hairdresser Octopus, the game finds a video game within a machine that made the octopus go crazy, and it seems to be the cause of the noodleization. So the gang goes to PaRappa's dad's basement, or secret hideout, I don't even know what it is at this point. And they find an old video game system, and PaRappa, being the brave dog he is, tries to clear it, and if he can't, well, he'll get stuck eating noodles for the rest of his life. This stage works similar to the 5th stage of the first game, as it takes lines and phrases used from each song you played thus far, as well as battling against the masters, but this time in 8-bit, along with 8-bit remixes of their stage. Once you complete the game, it's time to defeat the organization. Once PaRappa and the gang clear out some of the troops of the organization, turns out these were fakes throughout the whole time. And then you find a bunch of wires that lead toward where the mastermind is. And who could have guessed it? It's not like it was completely obvious who the mastermind was. But why?
My mother, she ate so many burgers that... Did she pass away? No, she turned into one.
And thus PaRappa takes on Colonel Noodle in a full-on rap battle, thus ending the reign of the Noodle organization. PaRappa then convinces Colonel Noodle to eat other foods. I think. He then gives PaRappa a stage to perform for a final stage of the game, along with King Kong Mushi from the first game, thus ending the story of PaRappa 2. Well, for the most part.
I can eat anything now. Anything but cheese. I want another lifetime supply of cheese.
That's the story of PaRappa 2. While the story is not all that great, I do like it for what it is. It's wacky, and I expect nothing less from a series about a paper-like dog who can rap. One thing I really enjoy about PaRappa is the art style. It looks so weird, and it's mesmerizing to me. It's like you just took one of the greatest acid trips ever. Much stuff in the world makes no sense, and I honestly like it. The character designs are wacky, like, how the hell am I supposed to tell that this is supposed to be a mouse? It has dynamite on its head. But enough of the visuals, let's get into more of the gameplay and mode, shall we? There are a total of 8 stages within the game, as which as mentioned before within the story, and each stage...
Come on, PaRappa, relax. It's practice time. Practice
Again. Say
practice
again. I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
Anyways, as stated before, it's a rhythm game. Your main objective is to hit the buttons when your instructor hits them. Simple, right? Well, it doesn't usually work all the time. While the buttons do appear for you to press, the game wants you to do it to the beat, so sometimes hitting it a bit early works. Which honestly, I can't really tell if the game likes what I did. Sometimes I do it to the beat, but when I f up so badly, it's like, hey, that's pretty good. Which is why I feel this game is a lot easier than the first PaRappa game. If you've also noticed, there's a switch on the bottom left corner. This shows cool, good, bad, and awful. This all depends on how well you do in the stage. And what's interesting is that the lower you get, the music changes a little bit. And what's also really neat is that when you hit awful, the background just turns into noodles. But if you want to pass the stage, you have to reach good. Now, let's talk about cool mode, shall we? I have no idea how to get cool mode at all. You know it has something to do with these 3 meters at the bottom? I think one represents funk, which shows how well you keep up with the rhythm. Freestyle is what it means, but you have to make it sound good. And then there's obedience, which is good to follow it if you're playing the game if you just want to beat it. But if you want cool mode, you're going to have to ignore your instructor, but still have good rhythm. If you manage to get all these down, you unlock Cool Mode. Cool Mode is essentially where you can freestyle throughout the entire song without the instructor and do some weird shit. It can be easy to lose if the game doesn't like your freestyling. Now, what about the other modes in the game? Well, there's a versus mode where you and another player can rap against each other to see who has the better flow. You can play as PaRappa while your friend of yours can play as one of the masters. You can also play normally, but you can also screw around, which some funny shit can happen. There is a versus mode against a computer, but it's kinda similar to two-player mode, so I feel like there's no reason to play it unless you want to continue playing through the game some more. So the last thing I want to talk about is the hats. Once you beat the game, you unlock the blue hat, which increases the difficulty of the songs, while also changing up the lyrics. Once you play through the game multiple times, you can unlock the pink hat, and once you do that again, you unlock the yellow hat, which the yellow hat is the highest difficulty. This gives the player an opportunity to replay through the game.
While not my favorite PlayStation 2 game, and that's a tie between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Persona 4, PaRappa the Rapper 2 is still a fun and enjoyable experience, and if you're interested in the rhythm game genre, I think you should give this game a try. Anyways, that's it for the video, and expect more videos in the future. See you next time.